Hey everybody, Shay here. Welcome back to another episode of Cyberpunk 2077 video delve into the library on their official channel. I am working through the entire library because I kind of want to get into the zone here. And the next one up here is we have another Night City Wire episode 2. Don't know what this is about yet. They don't put that in the title. I'm just kind of jumping in blind.
And welcome
All right, so here we go.
episode 2 of Night City Wire.
Maybe, oh, this one might be about the
all things
life paths.
2077.
Which I'm certain I've seen that one. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah. Okay, this might be the one I watched.
As well as having a chat to Philip from our quest.
Yeah, I remember this dude. He got lively. That's where I saw the clip of the samurai.
And then we're showing you another.
So I was going crazy a couple episodes ago. I'm like, I feel like I've seen these dudes talking.
About just some of
the gun mods. Yeah. All right. So do I speed through it because it's not going to be blind reaction for me? I'll skip through this one. Just to kind of, we'll go through this part here, but I'll try to summarize what the other dudes are talking about. And this is so well done too.
Grew up in Haywood
because it gives you that history, the context of
neighbors helped each other
what kind of influences you based on the scenario you're in, the structure of the environment.
Born here, live here, die here.
Childhood memories. Got everybody fighting for a slice of the street.
It's a lot of cars.
Get the fuck out of Vista.
A lot of cars.
Keeps getting jumped.
It's the street. This is a fun life path too, but I feel like no, it'd be fun. They're all fun. They all feel like they'd be fun. They'd have a different perspective to them that would make for a fun character design.
Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on.
But nomad.
Let's see.
Peacefulness.
Racing my bobber for the first time through the hills.
That just feels like the kind of story I would like to tell. Depends how it starts. The game could not start the way I'm imagining it, but look at this intro. This is what gave me that vibe of like, because I didn't know this would be in the game, you know. But I was like, they're gonna have
strong bonds and a higher duty.
Because yeah. I'm like, I like the start, that kind of quiet start, and then you get pulled into something. You're like, what is going on here? You know, so mentally, I think I could get myself into that headspace to kind of do the RP-driven gameplay of, I don't want any of this, you know? But you're in it. So what do you do? And then, how deep do you get into it? And then, do you try to get out? Or what's the motivation for you to stay and be wrapped up in all this crap, you know? And how do you get back to the nomad? How do you get back to this family, you know? And I love the idea of that. You can hear it. I love the idea of it. It would be hard to convince me to like play anything else. And it's so easy to kind of create like a wasteland versus city, you know, and have that animosity between the, you know, those two worlds, and have that kind of drive your perspective of things. And then imagine these guys. Then this would be the even extreme of that. Anti-corporation.
No, I'm not fucking joking.
This isn't a request.
This would be a cool kind of angle to take too, because it's all about power plays, you know, and getting that control and controlling people. And I mean, there's a perspective to this story too. They all have a perspective that would be cool. I could see myself playing each one of these, just to see how it would like change the way that the story gets constructed mentally, like the headcanon of the character.
But you're not on top.
That's great.
Burrow Arasaka is. And you're the pendeja who keeps him there. Work for yourself, live for yourself. That's the only way.
Yeah, so that's cool. That sounds cool. So this is the part I think I'm gonna skip through, because I can summarize what these folks are saying.
That we call the Badlands actually value their family above anything. But
that's where I got the line. I like the idea a lot.
That family behind.
Okay.
And now the beginning of the game for you will
do we control that, or does the game control that? That's what I want to know.
To make a new life there.
Okay.
Then you can also choose to actually be a corpo and choose the corpo in Arasaka Corporation.
I like the corpo term there. That wordplay there is fun.
Can you maybe
Best power
help
play
people
stuff.
understand?
That's where I got that in the first episode. Maybe I talked about where you could be in a scene like this, and it would matter because the perception of the NPC to you would impact your options. Look at that, like the cars. That's so much fun. I do want to listen to this again.
You can even see. We want to give you the option later in the game.
Seamless transitions, and you can see it in the distance there. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get so lost out here.
you might not want to, because
Okay.
the Badlands can be a pretty dangerous place at first.
Shh, don't talk like
because
that.
time has not been very kind to the Badlands.
Okay,
There
fine.
have been
They
many
probably have
wars in
control.
the past. There's global warming.
Control
so most
pieces.
people
Oh,
that do
so
live out there
the
don't
boundaries
really
might
have
be the
another choice
heat,
about
it's
it,
just dehydrating
or
or something.
nomads that love this life
We'll see.
and are all about it and
They
are
probably
very
have a way of
bad
like
garden.
controlling the
We
zones.
of course also
video and having a chat. to
Oh,
people
weapons.
with-
Looks so
Get
good.
into like
Okay, here's the band stuff.
catch a language.
Yeah, but this goes into this
Maybe who was a fan of the band.
recording of this music, which is this is a good clip. I enjoyed this a lot too.
Voice for it. It's a bit weird because it's a very different way of singing.
How
when you
annoying that would have
scream
been.
like that, and it's hard to sort of
Swallowing some syllables there.
adjust your accent.
Oh yeah, just try it again.
So it's
Oh.
been a bit kind of frustrating.
Oh jeez. Well, at least he's transparent about it. Jeez. That's gonna be
It's a
exhausting
very
though, man.
interesting thing.
Oh, this is the crazy level of detail with weapon modding and stuff like that. This blew my mind because it's another rabbit hole inside the game, and this game feels like it's full of rabbit holes. Now, whether or not they're successful, like they're so immersive, you know, that you don't feel like, oh, I'm burning away time. Like it's gonna feel, everything's gonna feel like it's fun, it's good, it's meaningful, not just meaningful. It needs to be fun. It can't be grueling, you know. And everything sort of feels fun, especially if you make a character that is a modder. Then of course, you know, this is part of your character. So, oh, and they go into the special kind, the when you mod them to do like. I'm pretty sure that gun was a. This feels Borderlandsy at this point. Here, let's fast forward through this because these guns get crazy. And the swords, I like the mantis blades so much,
We
but.
have cyberware, we have offensive cyberware, defensive cyberware, armor. We could talk for hours and hours about this stuff.
Mind blowing.
I think just for today's
Terrifying.
episode, we should keep it simple.
Terrifying.
Let's just talk.
I like that they
Electromagnetic
distinguish this
power
between the
to
guns so that
propel
you
a
really
fully metal
do have
projectile
a
at extreme velocities. What that
a
allows them
kind
to
of a
do
course
is to punch
of like,
through
well,
cover
this
or
is why I
punch
want this
through
kind of
walls
gun.
to hit
And I
somebody
mean, it
who's
looks
not
like there's
even
strategically
aware
there's
that
a
you're
reason
there.
why you use one
Smart
gun
weapons
over the other,
use guided
punch through a
missile
wall and stuff.
technology to actually track
And then there's like
targets
these
in real
ones that
time. So you can
tracking
hit
ammo.
somebody who's dodging, running
Oh my
away
gosh,
from you,
look.
or
Oh my
you can hit
gosh.
somebody who's hiding behind cover.
So Pavel,
Crazy.
Cyberpunk doesn't just contain FPS elements, right?
However, the best weapons that you can find will be taken from enemies or
I like
loot
that
caches
because
we
it
have
allows
everywhere
you
in
as a
Night
player
City.
to go,
The
okay, I'm not
weapons
buying
varieties
weapons. You can make a
range
rule
from
like that for
common
yourself.
to
I've had to do that in
uncommon,
games
up
like
to
World of
rare and
Warcraft. I did
legendary.
that back in the day.
And as they go in rarity,
It's just like
they
only what I
actually
find,
climb
you know,
power.
just because it
However,
reduces like game
legendary
time from like
weapons
thinking
are
through
very
that
specific
grueling
in
part of
such
the
a
game
way
that
they
sometimes
possess unique abilities that you
doesn't
will
get fun
find
for me.
from no
Like,
other
I mean,
weapon
it's
in the
fun,
game.
but
The
because it
players
removes
will
me
actually
from the game,
need to make some tough choices to find some legendary weapons.
it starts to
because
bother me,
maybe
even
they
though I
need
love
to
it.
choose whether to kill a
Because it
person
bothers me because I love it.
holds the legendary weapons that they want,
But I love
or
this.
to spare
You could
them
just go,
because they
or
like them as a
I can
character.
get them from the
So
story
next
itself,
question,
and then it has
let's
like
talk
value
about
that's
weapon
story driven too.
modifications. What mods can people give to their weapons
We'll see.
in Night City?
So they can give you non-lethal rounds, biochemical
Oh.
rounds to tear through that armor even
Oh,
faster.
so it's not. I forgot
So I
that
suppose for
detail.
my final
This goes back to the whole-
why don't you tell us about your
What they
favorite
said, like
weapon
you can
then? Which
clear
is your
this game
favorite
without
weapon so far in Night
killing
City?
anyone, right? And
Oh,
well,
there are so
non-lethal
many
weapons.
that
That's
it's
one
hard
way to do it.
choose Just one. But I can
people
mention
unconscious
some
and get the hell out.
manufacturers with their weapons that I absolutely adore. The first
If you can put
manufacturer
guns in a
would be
trunk like that
Tsunami
for real,
Defense
and they
Systems,
just
who
little
produce
details like that,
the
I'm like,
sniper
oh my
rifle
gosh.
Nekomata.
If you could do
That's
that,
a
that'd be
tech
cool.
sniper rifle.
I
It
would
means
think
that
that'd
you
be
can
cool.
Pierce through walls, so you can actually hit somebody who's hiding behind.
You're not just
cover,
opening something
or who
and it's like a-
doesn't even know you're there.
It's like you can
Of
see
course, I
a
also
bunch of
like
crap.
a close quarters approach.
Take what you want.
And what that needs is a shotgun. One of the shotguns
I
that we
cannot
have in the
play
game
with
is
shotties.
Budget Arms
Don't know
Carnage.
why.
Now that thing is cast from pure steel.
Look at this,
and it
though,
weighs a ton.
if I remember.
However, you can cut a person clean in half with it. Another shotgun that I absolutely love, it's for a more refined approach, I
Oh
would
my God.
say, is a smart shotgun, Kang Tao Zhuo. That thing has 8 barrels, and that means
That's
you can
madness.
target 8 targets independently. Now, killing an entire room is never simpler.
Pavel,
my
thank you so
gosh,
much for
can you-
joining me.
Thank you
That
for
seems so
having me.
godly.
I'm actually pretty interested to see what kind of weapons people.
I want to see the
discover when
melee.
they
I
play
wish. I
Cyberpunk.
hope there's like an episode here for melee
Before
because
we end episode 2,
Ah, that'd be
this
great.
is a reminder that those who wish to dive
I might have to
deep,
pick
this is a
up-
brand new
yeah.
book created in collaboration
Dark
with
Horse?
Dark Horse Books.
Yeah,
It'll
okay.
give you an
I'm getting it.
extensive look at what makes Night
No
City
problem.
tick
Got it.
before jumping into the
Well, that's why I
depths
thought there were
of
4
Mayhem.
because they talked about 3
That
life
is
paths,
it
but then the
for
cover had
today's
4.
Episode. Thank you
I'm gonna
again.
get it.
We will
I'm
be
gonna get it.
uploading everything to our
Ooh-wee. Okay, let's see where we go from here. Let's do a couple more shorties. We have a Cyberpunk 2077 Refuse Becoming Samurai. So let's just I'll click through this faster. Maybe after I see the intro here, just in case I haven't seen this yet. Okay, so that was a repeat of what was included in Night City Wire episode 2. We have life paths here. Yeah, so we got the summary of the life paths here if you just want to see that, as opposed to being part of Night City. Now, if all of this is in the Night City episodes, then it sort of makes this all go a lot faster because I don't have to go through all of these smaller pieces here. And then here's the tools of destruction. So that was the clip in Night City Wire 2, which talked about the gun. So we're moving on here. Hole in the Sun, Point Break Candy. Yeah, it looks like it's probably a song inside Cyberpunk. I'll listen to that on my own too. Let's get into more Q&A stuff. We have a Russian community developer Q&A. So what does that mean, Russian community developers? That's 21 minutes, so this might take up the rest of this episode. We'll find out.
Всем привет. Меня зовут.
Okay, so it's...
There's actually quite a bunch of Russian influences.
Okay, what's going
because
on?
Night City is basically influenced from cultures all around the world. So you
I was
specifically
gonna
Russian influences you might know.
speed through this, but
like as an example,
let's see what this is all about.
Specific graffiti that might have some Russian slang on them. You know, specific little nods to Russian culture and literature, or to to Russian youth culture. And there's also a gang that we usually call the Scavengers, which have lots of Russian influences.
I was
like
gonna
listen to Russian music. Have some
I was
Russian
wondering that,
graffiti.
like if there
So I
was
think you might
each
find
gang
lots of
has
little
a very
details and
specific
secrets.
cultural background to it.
So you can of course eat and drink.
It's a normal thing.
We're
Yeah,
not
wow.
making a survival game, so you don't have to drink and eat
Thank
in
God.
regular intervals. You can go and buy some nice things.
casual
or
do
you can
things. Just
maybe
whatever-
at
do whatever you
some
want.
point Sit down on a bench
All
and
these
just
mundane
enjoy the
things,
view.
just-
So we want to just give you that opportunity to
Okay, I
roleplay
will.
a little bit like that.
Right, I will absolutely do these things. Will it be dependent on
It
time?
always depends on
Update.
a few
Okay.
factors. So of course, the weather depends. If it's raining, not that many people want to be outside, or at night. In some parts
Okay,
of the
so
city, not that many people will be
conditional
outside, but at
impact
other
to
times,
the,
if there's big nightlife,
to the
there
life-
will be
nightlife.
even more people. So we just try to keep it really natural. So sometimes
Crazy.
streets
Again,
are kinda
I'm
empty,
repeating myself.
there's nothing much
There's so
going
many
on,
layers
or,
going
if
on
it's a
here that are
dangerous
nuts.
area, not many people want to walk around. But
How many potential partners will there be in the
there
game?
actually are quite a few people that you can, play different quests with.
We've met.
that are
I've seen
very
2 of
important
them,
to
and
the
then 2
story,
fixers.
and
So
then
far,
also
I've
come
got
with you
4
on
that I've
specific
sort of
missions, or,
tagged.
just for having a drink on a drive. And
Oh, wow.
like Jackie, they will be very important. And there's actually lots of them, and quite important ones that we haven't shown yet at all. So I'm really looking forward to people meeting these characters. And sometimes you might make a friend or a lover, and sometimes you can make an enemy.
So
it's really
romances
important for
are
us
in
that
here,
we
okay.
have these important characters.
But
can
seems a
be
little
with
bit
you
more
in
loose
your
in
story
terms
and
of
wherever
are
it
they
makes sense
supposed to
for
be
them to be.
companions or are they foes? It's literally whatever choice you make
So yeah, there are
might
many
dictate
different
that.
factions
That's
in
what I
the
read
game,
into that.
and you can decide how you act with them. But we
But
didn't
see,
want to have you,
if there's
join
faction
specific
reputation
gangs,
type
because that's
things,
not what our story is
if you
about.
start
We
helping
try
just
to
a
keep
maelstrom,
it,
then what does that mean to
realistic,
some
what
other
you as
gang?
a
Because they
character
might
would do, even if
associate
we
you
give
to the
a lot of
gang, and then
choice.
like, nah, you're
But
dealing with
you
them.
can
So,
really
so maybe there's a
decide
balance
how
there.
you act with these different gangs, and put out a contract on you.
Oh, so it's got a little
people
bit of that
actually would
whole
get money for
GTA
killing
has
you,
that, doesn't it?
and then,
Something
of
like
course,
that?
they hunt you down. But at the same time, you actually can benefit from that
That's
as well.
hilarious,
If there's
though,
some
that-
gangster who
Oh
has a
my
big,
gosh.
money reward on him, if you take him out, that money is yours.
Oh, bounties. Yeah, but it's cool that it could
Yes,
reverse.
you can actually go through.
Th- I
the
don't
game
know, I
without
mean-
killing anyone. However, you can't.
They're
be a
bringing
full
it up again.
pacifist. So there might always be some opportunities
Tension
where
and
you do
aggression,
have to
but-
use violence. Or of
Okay,
course,
they
you can
mentioned
use
that with the
stealth
guns,
to circumvent
non-lethal
certain
bullets,
areas,
right? So it's like
or sometimes
that's one way they get
you
around
know,
it. To
use
be
your
honest, it's like,
choices
well,
really in
this scene,
dialogue.
this piece of
You
the
can
story,
also
there's gonna be a
skip some
gunfight.
areas completely,
You don't want to kill,
completely
you got to
peaceful
get those
to-
bullets that are non-lethal, and then people just go unconscious. You move on. There, you never
There
kill.
you can drink
They can say
alcohol if
you
want
can
to.
play the
We
game without
basically give that you as a
taking
role-playing
people out.
choice.
Does that say
Because, of course, you know,
Cyberpunk?
there are many people
That
that
says
might wanna have a drink
Cyberpunk.
with you, and you
I
can
want to get
choose whether you
Cyberpunk.
wanna do it or not. And of course, characters can
That
react
sounds
in a
awesome.
natural way.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah, choices are still very important. To
I wonder
us,
if that's
you know,
legit. Like
especially me as a
they
graphic designer.
made their
We're
own
basically working
cider.
on trying to build, much create the character you want to create.
We'll
You can
see.
choose your
I'm starting to
body,
get an idea.
your face, your
And it is a
voice,
character I played in
and of course, you know,
Shadowrun.
we want to give you lots of
So,
different choices within.
but he
these
was like an
things, so, you know,
oddball.
lots of different hair.
So we'll
makeup,
see if I can
noses,
pull it off.
eyes,
We'll see.
and so on. You can role play as many different
Yeah.
directions. So, as an example, there might be outfits that look more corporate if you want to look like that kind of character.
God.
And we don't modify your clothing.
Yes.
And of course,
Yes.
clothing can have
Yes.
very good effects on you.
Yes.
But you can still choose what clothing you use for that.
Good.
So it's very important for us that you can actually choose.
Look,
the way
whatever
you look
you-
like in a way that is cool
They
for you.
separate the
Because, of
meta
course, you also
from
might wanna show
the
off your character.
design.
You can of course see your character
Perfect.
in mirrors, the inventory.
There's
you can
been
look down
equipment
at
I
yourself,
just
and we
refuse to
also
wear
wanna offer a really
wear in
deep
certain
photo,
RPGs
mode
because
where you can then, of
they look
course, put
stupid.
your character into different cool scenes. So
And then
that's
there's
why
some that
very
were really
important for us
crappy, but I
that you
refuse
can
to take
actually
off.
choose the way you want to look like.
That's an awesome thing. Redistribute. So is there
Yes, you
respecking?
can absolutely redistribute them because we want to give you a fluid class system.
Okay, so it's going to be some action you can take, you can respect. So it's part of the
as
lore
like in
and
The
the game.
Witcher,
and
it's very
be able
important
to
for us
do a
to
reset.
really give you this
That's
dynamic
okay.
world.
That's good.
So that of course means there is
Just
a
in case.
dynamic day and night
Sometimes we make
cycle,
mistakes.
but also dynamic. Of course, you as a player, you can drive many
Vehicles?
different cars. You
Go on.
know, you might start with a car that's not so nice.
Go on.
But later in the game, you can, as an example, buy really nice sports cars. Or of course, you can get cars sometimes as a reward for certain quests or missions.
We've been playing this game
And of course,
forever.
there's not just cars, but there's also motorcycles that you can buy and you can drive
More,
around the
I
city.
think if it's the
There's
character
only
I have in
some
my head,
cars
it would have been a
in
car,
Tokyo,
but I'm
for
like,
example,
oh
there's
yeah,
this
him on a
huge,
motorcycle.
big
Oh,
AVs
shit, it's gonna
that
be
you can see in the
slick.
sky above Night City, or these smaller AVs that fly around. As example, you can try to do some fighting, some fist fights, or some car racing.
You can Geralt your
And
way
thing
through
is
the game.
There's also some other systems in the world.
Stop,
as an
stop,
example,
stop.
you know, solutions like, as an example, big criminals have money on their heads. So if you
Yeah.
take out those criminals, you
Alright.
can kill them, or you can do
Yeah.
it with non-lethal means. You might gain the reward.
Okay, might. I don't like the word might. Don't.
So yes,
Don't
there's a
screw
very
me.
strong cultural influence all over Night City because there's basically character death in our game is basically always a game over. You have to load your save game. Of
Oh.
course, you know, there can be many different ways as an
I'm
example
scared
in the
there.
story where we get, you know, really clear.
Is there autosave?
There are ways that, as an example, you can, if you read, you know, lots of different cyberpunk books or watch movies or play games, you can see that within the cyberpunk genre, there are many different stories that you can tell. And of course, you know, some more philosophical stories have a place
Yeah.
there, or, you know, maybe something
That's probably
more
what's-
like
I'm gonna get
horror,
lost
or
in
of
some of
course, you
that
know,
for
also
sure, but
straightforward action. And,
I can see
Cyberpunk
where
is a
they're going to go with
fantasy
that
game,
mystical
so
angle
it will still be,
because
you know, rooted
the
in the cyberpunk science fiction world.
the Voodoo Boys idea of going into the net, you know, and,
So
and
we're
having
trying to
a
make
bit
the
of
game
a
really
spiritual or
non-linear, so you
myst,
can
myst,
basically
mystical
choose however you want to play the
element
game.
tied into
Of
that
course, you know,
and
there
what
are
that could
many
mean
story
and
missions that you have to do
interpreting
that are kind of linear
that kind of
as an example
future
at the
and what it-
start, but then the game opens
Yeah.
up a lot. And the
That's
thing
gonna
is,
be
you know,
interesting.
You might over some quests many players might not even see, but we actually think
That's
that's, a
nuts.
pretty cool thing because that just makes them much
Well, it makes
more
people
special for the
and
players
it builds
to
that
play.
community because people are going to want to share those stories with each other and stuff, you know, like I did this, did you
So
find
we
this?
can't
No,
talk
and then
about
you have that
multiplayer
exchange
a
and
lot yet.
that
We
becomes
can
part of
say that
the
there are people working on something
that's a
for
creates the whole
multiplayer
buzz, the
Cyberpunk,
continuous buzz around
but
this stuff,
right
you know.
now we are still fully focused on delivering the
So we already
proper
know what's
single-player
going on with
RPG
multiplayer. They're going to
experience.
deliver an entirely separate game for the multiplayer
So
experience.
we
I'm not
still
I'm
think
not
of
interested in
Cyberpunk
it,
as a
but
true and
I'm
proper
curious to see what they
RPG,
do with it for
and
sure.
We actually want to show that a lot with our
How they
fluid
build that
class
world.
system. So we
Okay, and that's it for another episode. That's going to be another one to cut through because I can't possibly keep all that stuff in. There's no way. I mean, if you want to watch the full videos, I implore you, encourage you, come to this channel. It's the official channel for Cyberpunk 2077 and check out all of this content yourself just to get the fuller experience of the stuff that they're laying out there. It's all here. There's way more stuff here than I imagined was already out there. I kept seeing things on Twitter, but I never did a delve into it. In part, I guess I was trying to dodge some spoilers, but I'm like, no, this is so new and it's going to be everywhere. I'm not going to be able to dodge everything. And this is like, what could I possibly spoil? The game is not out yet. No one's played it yet. So they're telling us about what the game is going to be, what the world's going to be like, what the, you know, so I'm going to delve in. So I did a YouTube search for if there were any new trailers to Cyberpunk And then I was like, there's a channel? It's okay. Let's just do the entire channel because why not? Let's commit. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this one up here, and then we're going to kick off a bunch of other short ones next, and we're going to go into another Night City episode 3 and go from there. Oh, but then we have, but then strangely enough, there's this one up here for Night City. I'm just looking ahead now to kind of see some hints at like what's coming up. But okay, Keanu Reeves, we got some motorcycle stuff down there. It does look like the longest of the episodes left over are going to be these Night City Wire ones, and they're likely going to leverage some of the content from these smaller clips. So I'm probably going to rip through the rest of these in one sitting as well. I hope there's going to be just enough episodes to get me one per day until launch. If I can pull that off wonderfully, it'll be a happy accident, but I'll welcome it, and I'll catch you in the next stack of videos. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.